Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this. This is your New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL Fantasticamania for January the 20th, 2017 review. I'm your host, LK from Kocosports.net. Also joined Dion from SOS Wrestletalk, not Wrestletalk, and by Jeffrey from the Strong Style Story podcast. Jeffrey, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
And I'm doing absolutely splendid on this Friday/Saturday morning.
So what time is it? It's like 2:20 in the morning where you are, isn't it?
Yeah, you can sleep when you die. That's the moniker I live under.
Yeah. See, I value my sleep, so you know.
So do I, crazy enough. So do I. And we're joined by Dion from SOS. Again, SOS. That's going to be your new name. Right? That's going to be your new name from now on. But gentlemen, we'll start with you, Jeffrey, since you're new to the show. We have a win, loss, or tie system for every wrestling event. So what did you give the first night on New Japan World for Fantasticamania?
Well, honestly, I've only watched the main event of it so far, which was Dragon Lee against Barbaro Cavernario for the CMLL World Lightweight title. I really enjoyed that match, though, so I guess I'm going to have to give it a win. And you know, in the run up, I said that this Friday show was the most exciting card of the three shows this weekend. So you know, I was pretty much in the tank for this show, no matter what.
Well, you know me, I'm always gonna get up at the wee early hours in the morning and watch a New Japan show, because what better to start a day before you go to work? I'm going to go ahead and give it a win because I checked out the whole show from beginning to end, and I always love these Fantasticamania shows because even though we're still getting New Japan shows, we are also getting the flavor of the CMLL guys, and I also love that. And if you hear any, other voices here, Munchies is here with me on the sideline. She's working on her poster for a certain rally tomorrow, so yeah, that's what you'll hear, when she'll probably yell like, that's some bullshit or something. Yeah. But no, I gave the show a win. Like I said, I always look forward to these shows. It's really more about, like, they have some storylines here, like, you got some with Naito and you got Atlantis, but I mean, it's really about fun to me with these shows, so
even Okada broke a smile, and that says everything, doesn't it?
Oh God, we'll get on him later. Oh God.
Okada's on top of the world, damn it.
I'm glad Jeffrey was so well spoken when it came to the names, because I butcher names. I'm the English of the lot, and I butcher the English language like there's no tomorrow. And guess what? I'm even worse at Spanish names. So I'm glad you can cover my ass with the names there. So we'll go to the first match. We had a Will Ospreay and Efisto, I guess I got it right, versus Blue Panther and Henare. Thoughts on this one, Dion? I enjoyed it. It was a fun opener. I'm really, really beginning to become a fan of Henare. Like his intensity, big fan.
Okay, you took the words right from me, because every time there's an opening match, I'm just like, is Henare in it? Because Henare is a young and up-and-coming beast, man. I enjoy his matches, and we have our kind of tits and tats with Will Ospreay. He goes back and forth with him. He's really really soft, not soft, but he's really just touchy on Twitter, if you tweet anything to him. But I mean, he's a good wrestler. I like his matches.
He can't handle the banter.
No, he cannot at all. He cannot at all. It's just like, he gets really offended just by anything you say to him. So, I mean, good wrestler though, but just tranquilo, buddy.
This coming from the guy that made the fish shirt.
He did make that, yeah.
True that. Henare is the most polished young lion I've seen in years, and the best part is he's also a heavyweight too. So I mean that's a plus. I mean, he just did the World Tag League, which young lion rarely gets that opportunity to do that. Even though he took the falls each time, he got an opportunity that young lions rarely get in that participating in a tournament. Almost straight out the gate. I mean, it took David Finlay, over a year, and then he got to feature in juniors last year, but only because both Young Bucks got injured. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the match was okay. Ospreay dabbed, and for a split second, last year I gave Ospreay the Wrestler of the Year, which for a split second I I questioned my decision. I thought, no, he dabs. If I can rip on TJP for dabbing, I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't rip on Will Ospreay for dabbing, because it pissed me the fuck off. I cannot stand it when they fucking do that shit. Anyway,
I know why
Yeah.
he's dabbing, because it's kind of like a default. Hey kids, look at me, I'm cool, I'm dabbing. I kind of see what he is meaning on it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I can kind of see what he means in like a wrestling sense, because it's like, hey, I really don't have like a gimmick, so I'm just gonna dab. I see what you definitely mean on it.
Right, so you're talking about, that's what the cool kids do. Do you really reckon the cool kids sit at home, upload New Japan World, and play CML Fantasticamania? I really don't. As much as I would love that to happen one day, I highly doubt that.
That day's coming, though. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming.
He did live stream last night on Facebook, so that was like huge exposure.
Look at you chiming in and saying you ain't gonna be in the show. I like that though. It's like,
Well, I told you I wanted to.
Come on, yeah, I like that. Do it. Yeah.
Do my sign.
Imagine people just randomly clicking the show live, and then they load it up, and there's you not talking and a female talking in the background. They can't see her. I bet like he went all Aaron Rex on us. But yeah, it was enjoyable.
Oh boy,
It was enjoyable. Then we move on. We have Gato, Jado, and Raziel versus Tiger Mask, Jushin Liger, and El Soberano Jr. I think I might have got that.
That's
Evan.
correct.
Can I just say something? This is Friday, and we got to get the swearing in early. I love Gato. I'm just gonna say, fuck Jado, man. I don't fuck with Jado like that. He all right, I guess, but I don't fuck with Jado like that. I remember, what was it, 2 years ago at Global Wars in Toronto? They tagged him in, and he just got booed out the fucking building.
Oh,
so,
God. That's right.
I'm just got to say something about Jado right there. I'm not really a fan.
He looks like he could be a convict.
Old man Jado, not young Jado. Let me get that out the way. Sorry.
I reckon he looked like a convict in this match.
Jado.
He could get away. He could get away with a
Back in
convict.
the FMW days.
Yeah, we're in the fire suits. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
El Soberano Jr. is left-handed, and every time he hit the ropes, it really annoyed me. It annoyed me so much, I took it down as a note. Like, he's left-handed, and the way he hit the ropes was just mind-fucking me really bad at midnight. At 12 a.m. in the morning, that's not what you want to see. Crisscrossing from a guy who's left-handed. That needs to fucking stop. But the match, to me, felt like, anyway, this match was only there to make El Soberano Jr. look strong. Like, it was there to show him off.
Well, Soberano Jr. is he's kind of an opening match guy at Arena Mexico, and so is Raziel. Really, I mean, Raziel is maybe a second match guy at this point, too. But so I think a lot of this, it was to showcase Soberano and let him let loose, because they're not gonna, because being in the opening matches at Arena Mexico. They're not going to let him do any flips or anything crazy. So here they can maybe get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, he was good. I think he shined a lot better than Raziel. Raziel didn't really impress me, but El Soberano Jr. did impress me. And these CMLL shows, are they all? Because I've done a few in the past. I've done an Arena Mexico that took place on a Wednesday, and I've done Lucha Elite, which sadly finished. Now it sounds like you're familiar and know your Lucha Libre. Where will I be able to get, minus their YouTube channel, is there any like pay-per-views monthly that CML provide? And if so, how and where can you buy them from? Or is it just all about their weekly shows on YouTube?
It really, it's not. There's the weekly shows on YouTube. There's also weekly free shows at clarosports.com in Mexico. They usually do the Friday night Arena Mexico shows. I mean, that's broadcast pretty much all over the world. Ironically, New Japan World shows the Friday night CMLL shows, but they're region blocked for Japan only.
Bastards.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah, but it's free on Claro Sports, so you can. I mean, so you can check that out. I mean, that's how I've seen it before. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that, yeah, CMLL. I mean, when you get the events, you'll have the events like I think Dos Leyendes is coming up, and and then of course there's the Aniversario coming up, but that'll be in like September.
So they're not very. They don't have a monthly pay-per-view to pay-per-view. It's just one every 3 or 4 months.
Yes, that's correct. And AAA operates the same way too. In fact, AAA has theirs tonight. One of theirs, I think it's like Guerra de Titanes, I think is what it's called.
Dude, I swear to God, I've tried to find some AAA. The only AAA show I did was when they were in Japan. In October or November, I covered that. I find it very difficult to find AAA. 'Cause CMLL is easiest on the YouTube, where I found, and same as Lucha Elite, Lucha Azteca, whatever you want to call it. Whereas I found AAA very difficult to find.
AAA, I think they have a weekly show on YouTube. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, because when I looked on their YouTube channel, it was very dated. It felt very dated. It was from
that's because they tape rather than the CMLL shows are live. The AAA's are TV taped.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Thanks for clearing that up. The match ended where Soberano Jr. gets the win with a springboard moonsault, whilst Raziel was kind of trapped in the ropes. It's pretty nice. What were your thoughts, Dion, on this second match of the night?
I agree with you. It did what it absolutely had to do. It got Soberano Jr. over, and I just got to say something real quick. Jeff is my primary source to go to for Lucha Libre wrestling. As far as I'm concerned, he's the king of that knowledge right there. So I'm gonna tip my hat to him on that Lucha Libre knowledge.
Well, but believe me, I do a lot of cribbing from Cubs fan and Rob Viper and Fredo too. So
hey, it is what it is. As far as I know, though, that's what I'm just saying. As far as I know, I got to tip my hat to you, sir. So, I got to give you props on that. But, no, I got to agree with you. It did what it was supposed to do. They showcased them. I don't want to say everybody else is kind of here, but everybody else is pretty much here, And my favorite part of the match was actually after the match when Jushin went up to the fan and looked like him and was like, oh, yeah, you look like me. And I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. So that was kind of my favorite part of the match.
Oh, yeah, they usually do a spot like that every year. Like last year, they had the guy in the seat and they swapped places.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember, yeah.
Then we moved on to Mephisto and versus Maximo Sexy and Stuka Jr.
Was that it? Wasn't that Hechicero?
No, it was Mephisto and Okumura. A very old Japanese guy.
Mephisto's not on this tour.
Dude, I swear I've got Mephisto, Mephisto.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I think there was Hechicero on this tour because Hechicero is taking on Maximo tomorrow for the CMLL heavyweight title.
He sure is. That's the main event.
So that means
Mephisto's not on this tour.
So I used cagematch.net, okay, for the match card.
Those, man,
they fucked me hard. Shame on you, Cage Match. Shame on you. Everyone goes send them.
Everybody makes mistakes.
They usually,
yeah.
Not that big though, bastards. They made me look like a cock. And no, right. This Maximo Sexy. Now I'll give Cage Match their credit now. Okay, on their little brief bio, he's been CML World Champion for 722 days. Is that normal?
Yes, it is, because in Lucha, titles don't mean as much as the De Apuestas matches, which is the mask or hair matches.
No.
Titles are window dressing. I mean, when Mascara Dorada did his year stint in New Japan, he held a CMLL belt that entire time and rarely defended it.
Oh, okay. Well, just interesting to know anyway. Basically,
but yeah, titles, like I said, titles don't mean as much in Lucha.
That's a bit sad. That's a bit upsetting, but I guess they have their own little way, don't they? And Maximo is, imagine Aaron Rex, but even more feminine. It's kind of like, how long has he been doing this for? Has this been a long-term thing, or was it recently?
I was just going to say, he's like Santino, but better. He's a better Santino, in my opinion.
Well, Maximo is, one of the more famous modern examples of a lucha tradition called the Exoticos, which is basically when they basically have very flamboyant, effeminate men wrestling, in makeup. You can probably guess what they're trying to get at, but Maximo, however, is very popular. He's very over as a técnico or a face in Mexico.
So what you're telling me is there's lots of people like Pimpinella. Like everyone saw Pimpinella in Lucha Underground. Is there lots of characters like that in?
Yeah, Pimpinella is another.
Lucha Libre?
Pimpinella is another example. Yeah, he's another example of an exotico.
Okay.
I guess
Okay.
maybe So if I guess Anyway, that's Maximo basically.
Yeah, just a strange cat. Anyway, the match comes to an end when Okumura, for some strange reason, rips the bottom of the name who I got wrong tights off. Like he rips the tights off for some really fucking really weird reason. He Stuka Jr. He rips his tights off. I do not understand why. Because it wasn't that it's like a singlet, but it was a full bodysuit, and he ripped it off. I have no idea why. Is that a tradition in Mexico, or is that just some weird shit?
It's a tradition to rip masks. I mean, that's a rudo tactic, but I don't know anything. I haven't seen the match, so I can't speak to that. I'm not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, Dion, did you see that when Okumura just ripped the singlet?
I was kind of taken back by it when it happened. I was kind of like, all right, because I was tweeting back and forth to people talking about drawings and whatnot as this match was going on, and I saw the finish, and I was kind of just like, okay, like that's the finish. So I was like, hey, the match wasn't too long. It was about 6.5 minutes, so it didn't hurt anything. It didn't excite me or anything. It was nice switch up for the crowd. A nice little comedic match. So it did what it was supposed to do.
Just for context, though, with Shigeo Okumura, he used to be in the early days of Keiji Muto's running, as head of All Japan. He's been in Mexico for quite a number of years, and usually that's who they stick. The Japanese talent when they go on their excursions to Japan, that's usually who they put them with is Okumura. So when Naito and Yujiro Takahashi went there as No Limit, they were with Okumura, and initially so were Sho Tanaka and Yohei Komatsu when they were Raijin and Fujin for about 6 months, and now they're in Ring of Honor for some reason.
Because they need people.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that discussion right now.
Yeah,
He needs to be gone within about 30 minutes. There's no way we'll be able to finish this on time.
No, they've heard me rant about Ring of Honor a few times now. So
while we're here and we got all the time in the world, what is your problem with Ring of Honor?
Their booking in 2016 was absolute hot garbage, and the sheer amount of talent they lost, and especially with their non-white wrestlers walking out the door. I think that they have some issues that they need to resolve big time, because they're starting to look like clowns, quite frankly. I went to 4 different Ring of Honor shows in the calendar year, including the Global Wars pay-per-view, and I had a blast, admittedly. But I haven't watched an episode of Ring of Honor TV since the Global Wars show.
Dude,
because they just go ahead.
I watched the Ring of Honor yesterday, which aired on Comet, because it's really fucking strange. It airs on Saturday on Syndicated, it airs on Monday on the Fight app, it airs on Wednesday on Comet. So I catch the Comet one, and it featured Cody Rhodes versus Steve Corino, and they're doing this Decade of Excellence tournament. The issue is the winner gets the number one contendership for the world title at the 15th anniversary show. The issue is we already know it's. I don't want to say in case there's people who don't read the spoilers, but we both know who the challenger for the fucking world title is. So they just they've spoiled it already. They spoiled it already.
Yeah,
idiots.
It is what it is.
Yeah, because I said it.
Garbage.
They need to really knuckle down and just be home to one, not fucking 3 different producers of content. It's fucking irritating.
I see y'all like this, like over here in the States, they do the Global Wars tours every year, and it's like, oh, of course I could have went to any one of the Global Wars shows, and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna save it and go to the G1 shows in LA. Why would I want to do that?
For real.
Like,
I mean, the past 2 years that we went to Global Wars, it was kind of the same. Like there wasn't
Yeah.
I don't know, like, the biggest difference was this year, you know, someone debuted.
Toronto, I think, was better because it was like a 2-night event.
Yeah,
But
and, you know, it was a better venue.
Yeah, it was a better venue. Ted
Which
Reeve, I
makes
think, is
it
a better
different.
venue. Yeah, it's a way better venue than I forgot what is it, the Frontier Fieldhouse. It's a way better venue. But
Chicago Ridge with God, yeah, Chicago Ridge. You know, how do you make a play for saying that you're the number 2 promotion in America and you're hosting a pay-per-view in what amounts to a park district community center? You know, it's ridiculous.
Parking was a fucking joke. When you're trying to have all of those people, like, you guys didn't think about it, did you? No.
Bunch is getting it, y'all. ROH, y'all hear that? Hunter, wasn't Delirious? You hear that over there?
I begged you to come here, Delirious, and that was the last good show that I went to from you.
She's vexed right now. She's making signs and shit. Y'all better leave her the fuck alone, Jesus, because hey, it's not good right now.
I think you are going to get that
like,
fucking rugby tackle in a minute.
Oh yeah, But no, like honestly, if if y'all have a choice to go between Global Wars or the G1 shows, go to the G1 shows because I mean you at least get that as kind of semi-authentic New Japan experience as opposed to same old. Yeah, Naito versus whoever the hell they got right now, man. I don't know.
As opposed to a 1997 Monday Nitro ending, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're gonna have
Speaking of Nitro, that's a good way to talk about the next match. There was a Black Cat Memorial match, and I literally a couple of weeks ago I did the January 12th, 1998 edition of Nitro, and it featured Black Cat versus Marty Jannetty. So it was very interesting, and I'm guessing it was either his wife, sister, or daughter, or family relation who did the memorial. It's quite touching. We had Los.
Yeah, Victor Manuel was a very well-regarded wrestler. He was Mexican-born, but he was very well-regarded in both Mexico and New Japan. And in fact, I just watched a match with him from 1992 against Young Lion Hiroshi Yamamoto, who you know as Hiroshi Tenzan, back when he was still a Young Lion for one of my other podcasts. And it was a good match actually. So yeah, Black Cat did some stuff. I mean, he was a good guy.
Yeah. So he had Los Inga, that was Rush, Evil, Sanada, Bushi, and Naito versus Finlay, Taguchi, Kushida, Tanahashi, and Atlantis. Now, Atlantis is 54 years of age, and he's still wrestling like he's 30. Bless his cotton socks. What is that man playing at? He
is over as hell in Mexico, and he shows no signs of slowing down.
I just feel bad for the guy. Like it's like he's quick, and then it just goes to a point where he stops. Like there was a point where Rush was kicking him in the corner, and I felt you can't kick the granddad like that. You nasty sack of shit.
Oh, there's actually some continuity here with Atlantis because if you remember from last year's Fantasticamania, Naito just went at Atlantis the whole time, and the reason is because in the lead up to the CMLL 82nd anniversary show in September of 2015, it was the big feud was Atlantis against La Sombra. So the main event of that show was a mask versus mask match, and Atlantis took La Sombra's mask.
Yep.
So that's why there's a continuing war between Los Ingobernables and Atlantis at these shows.
Yep.
Not so much in CMLL because CMLL booking makes Ring of Honor booking seem logical and and all that, but so there's actually some continuity in these matches. Of course, we later come to find out that the reason why La Sombra dropped his mask, of course, was because he was on his way out the door. So.
Now, that was one of the things I was talking about earlier, too, about, like, some continuity that they still have. So I kind of think that's really cool that Los Ingobernables Atlantis feud is still going on. And I just like that Naito's is still on him about it. He's like, dude, I don't forget what you did to my buddy, man. You took his mask. I'm not happy about it. And pretty much fuck you. So every time we have a match, I'm going to make it hard on you. So, Naito, of course, Jeff, as you know, Naito, that's our boy. That's our guy right there. So, of course, I'm going to support that. But,
yeah.
Roosh, man, right now, of course, he got some internet controversy going on.
Yeah, he does.
T-shirt designs and all that good stuff.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Yeah, I remember that. He's
like,
stealing fan art. Yeah, stealing fan art is not cool.
That's not cool at all.
He could have just literally just sent it. He could have just direct messaged the fan and said, "Look, can I use this as a shirt?" And I'm pretty sure the fan would have said, "Yes, please."
Well, yeah, that's exactly what should have happened, but it didn't. And then he tried to act as if he was in character, and he ended up coming across as even more of an asshole in the process.
So he's not very well loved. I think he's right. I've seen him in a CML show, and now a New Japan and a CML show. And I was very unimpressed with him in both times. Does he have a great singles match out there, minus the La Parka match, because I saw that and that was very good. But is he actually very good, or is he overrated as fuck? Because I hear rush whenever I'm on Twitter and there's a CML.
Rush is very. I actually think Rush is a very good singles wrestler. It's just his attitude sometimes gets the better of him.
Not Tranquilo. He's not Tranquilo at all. He's not his gimmick at all, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, because I always hear about him, and Meltzer sucks his cock, and it's like I don't get.
Oh God.
Like literally, I don't see the hype in the guy. Like I've seen him a few times now, and I was like, hey, he's all right. He's nothing special to go home about. But no, the match is okay. Evil got the win with the STO on Finlay. Rush rips off Atlantis mask. He runs and gets a new one. I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, it was an okay match. There was nothing bad about it. I've already forgotten about it, which is a shame because it's Black Cat's Memorial. So I was expecting a really good match heading into intermission, and we got a featuring Tanahashi, Naito, and Rush. Bushi. The fun Taguchi. Actually, we got to talk about Taguchi. What the fuck was he wearing? He was the funky toilet. He was an absolute imbecile with that stupid mummy crap. He looked like an absolute.
Oh, he does that every year.
Every year.
It's his pharaoh. Yeah, he does that every year. I think it's great because he also makes the young lions, do the, do it too.
Nope, he sure does.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, honestly.
He always sells the gimmick of the mask like he's never been unmasked before too. I love that. Like he's just like, oh, this first time.
Last year he and Nakamura did that to great effect. When Nakamura and Taguchi did that to each other, they both Nakamura and Taguchi both look absolutely scandalized.
Jeff, since you said that, you brought his name up too. I got to kind of just say this too, since you just brought his name up. That's one thing that these shows are missing. Nakamura was a huge part of these shows.
He really was.
Now go ahead, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say this will come up more in the main event, but I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura was very much into the Fantasticamania shows, and he brought like a certain energy to it, and it just made it even more of a party atmosphere. I mean, I still like these shows, but I mean, I mean Nakamura not being there more so than probably any other time since he left New Japan. This is when I'm going to feel. This is when I'm going to feel the loss of Nakamura.
I did feel that about the show though. It did feel, sorry to cut off there. It did feel very fun. Like when the whole show was going on, it didn't feel like it was an intense New Japan event. And I think the crowd helped to this as well because they're kind of in a bit of more of a fun mood instead of serious concentration, respect. Even though they were being respectful and quiet sometimes, it did feel that they were in the party atmosphere, and I did like that. And obviously we got.
The crowd loved the luchadors. I mean, even the rudos they get into. I mean, the crowd loved the luchadors. I mean, this is like a big time of year. I mean, it's like I said, it's a party atmosphere before in between Wrestle Kingdom and New Year Dash, and then the first serious tour of the year, which is the New Beginning tour that's coming up. So I mean, it's a good blow off time. It's just no real serious threads except maybe this year with Hiromu Takahashi and Dragon Lee, which we can get into in a little bit. But yeah, I mean it's just fun times.
What about because there's a show tomorrow and the day after? Are these all going to be similar? They're all fun. They're all just relaxing. Just enjoy the atmosphere. Is it all like that?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's show there's going to be the CMLL World Heavyweight match between Maximo Sexy and Hechicero, and then on Sunday is usually when they leave the big singles matches between for both Volador Jr. and Ultimo Guerrero. This year they just happen to be against each other. So there's I mean, last year there were six title matches last year. This year there's only 2.
Yeah, but then if it's a bit of fun, I don't really think you need to put the titles online. But then if you said in Mexico the titles don't really mean anything, I guess you could have just had titles anyway. I was a bit confused why we didn't get in later on. We had Takahashi versus Titan. I was confused why we didn't get that as an IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match.
Well, because put simply, because Dragon Lee's the next challenger, and that's what this is a build to it, and they did last year. They did a Dragon Lee versus Hiromu Takahashi title match back when Hiromu Takahashi was still Kami Itachi, because they actually added it to the final day for Dragon Lee's lightweight title.
Okay, but I still don't see why.
He actually defended that title twice last year, so in 2 consecutive days, and it was the best match of the show of the entire tour. Him and Kami Itachi.
I don't know. I just still feel that this could have been for the title, but they don't throw out title matches like they're everything. So I do like that about New Japan. The title matches feel special because they're rare, and I do like that about them.
Hey, one thing I want to say about the Los match before we move on, I love the bit where they played soccer ball with it was like Roosh and Naito were playing soccer with I don't know if it was some object, but it was an invisible object. They were just playing soccer out there. I just love that bit whenever they do that.
Yeah.
Then we moved on. And then we moved on to Juice Robinson, Mystico, Volador Jr. versus Ultimo Guerrero, Okada, and Euphoria. So we'll just pretend that we'll cross out the E for next time. So I remember Euphoria.
Yeah,
silly language.
So did Okada wear the King from Tekken outfit when he came out?
Oh God, no, he didn't. But when he came out, right, this
dear.
I love Okada. This motherfucker was raising the roof like he is Booker T in 1997. Like, and it was like so uncoordinated too. He's just. I'm like,
he didn't wear the King outfit. That's whack. I thought he was supposed to.
No, he didn't. I wish he would have. That'd been awesome.
He was supposed to.
Maybe.
He was. Maybe he was too busy just worried about raising the roof and getting engaged. I don't know. But he was raising the roof. He's engaged. He's happy right now. He's getting people out of trouble. So he's just going to raise the roof. So I don't blame Okada right now. So do you think it was bad? It looked horrible. But, yeah, chapping. Looked horrible. But, hey, I still love Okada. So keep raising the roof horribly, my friend.
Big cool thing I've seen on Twitter in a long time is people who think Okada is overrated.
Oh God!
That's
I got personally offended by the idea that Kenny Omega carried Okada in that Wrestle Kingdom match.
That's sickening, dude. Like, I'm glad you said that, because over the last 2 weeks, that's all I've heard was, look at the great match that Kenny Omega had. I'm like, you discount that he was in the ring with probably one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestler in the world, Kazuchika Okada. Give the man his credit. He wasn't in there with I don't know. He wasn't in there with a fucking brawler.
Or when these WWE fans are just talking about if WrestleMania can beat it. Like, why does it matter? Nothing will top that match. Nothing will top that. Or the other thing is that they'll be like, oh yeah, Kenny Omega's coming to WWE. I'm a big fan of Kenny Omega. What Kenny Omega match have you watched? Oh, I watched the Omega Okada match. But what else? Do you actually know who he is?
No. That's not even the real issue. The real issue is that, watch WWE top this, but it's usually the same people that say that, we want wrestling to be all positive. Oh, except if this guy loves this match, therefore we're going to tear it down. So, last weekend over the final of the WWE UK tournament, and I already see people just aching to get their hot takes in about how much more better, meaningful, and historical that that match was, like, other than Omega Okada. I'm like, what's the relevance? What's the relevance? Why can't we have two good wrestling matches inside of a week. You know.
Since you just brought up the tournament, can I just say something about the dude who won, Tyler Bate? I get tired of every he's like a stereotypical British wrestler to me. He has no knee pads. He has a mustache. He's horrible on the mic. Not every British wrestler is horrible on the mic, but he sucks on the mic. I mean, he's great in the ring, but I'm just like, okay, like I would have rather Pete Dunne won, but whatever. I guess I'm just going off tangent here, but I
would have rather they didn't sign those contracts because because now Pete Dunne can't face Matt Riddle on Sunday. So
oh god.
Yeah. So fun.
Oh god.
Is that at the IPW show?
yes.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that on the Flow Slam gimmick.
Yeah.
Assholes. Bastards.
Read your contracts, folks. Read your contracts. That's all I'm going to say.
So the monopolization of the world of pro wrestling has begun. Basically, WWE is now stopping people from competing on Flow Slam, which, if I'm correct, they've actually invested a lot of money into Flow Slam. So I don't see the reason why they would not want Flow Slam to be profitable.
I'm just going to say one thing. If we can get the camera on going on me for a second. I don't know if I'm the main guy, but
I've got it on you.
That's all I'm going to say.
He gave the Yano.
Oh, can we not talk about that pedophile live on air, please?
Oh, wow.
Hey.
God.
Oh, he's the mascot of my show, buddy. You better watch yourself.
No, right. So basically, I have a judging system of Yano. If he has a really good match, he's Toru Yano. If he has an okay match, he's Yano. And then if he has a bad match, I call him pedophile. It's a little system.
But he never has a bad match. So what are you talking about?
Exactly. I'm not. It's a joke. I'm not
we are blessed to have Toriano on this earth. Don't you understand this? He is the asshole trickster god that we need.
He needs to not be in the G1. Okay, that we can all agree on.
He can stay. He
made it to a semifinal. Come on, man.
Tenzain's can go. He didn't need to be in there. I hated that Tenzan was in there this year, but the story, I was like, all right, I bought it. But me and Jeff
he had a couple good matches in that run too.
He did. He made me a believer. He made me a believer. But Jeff and I were talking about this. I think was it last Saturday. Don't be surprised pretty soon if you don't see a WWE Asia or a Japan tournament coming up soon on the WWE Network, because that's what they're going for. That's what they're going. They want to do it regional. They're really trying to monopolize this shit. So.
I reckon they'll go in for a WWE Asia and a WWE European, another European championship, but only exclusively for European. Even though England and UK is in Europe, but they'll just pretend their audience are idiots. Which I'm not going to say they're not, but we'll move on anyway. I did enjoy this. Where did we get the win here? Guerrero. No. Oh yeah, Guerrero got the win there with like a variation of like a camel clutch where he kind of like pulled him back. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked Juice Robinson and Okada's. They had lots of different alterations during this, and I felt like they were kind of teasing at it. Is there going to be a match between them in the next two shows? But are they?
No.
Are they booked in the next two shows?
He's got a collision course with Suzuki right now.
No, I meant on these two Fantasticamania shows. I didn't mean obviously.
I'm looking at the card right now. They don't.
I just thought that the way they were like interacting, and the Juice when he did that thing around his waist, like he wants the world title and shit like that. I just thought that he was signifying that they're gonna have.
They're about to say tomorrow. They're not going to. It's Barbaro, Okada, and Ospreay versus Kushida, Taguchi, and Sobrano Jr. So no, they're not.
Yeah, that match might change, but we can discuss that after the main event. So
yeah.
Yeah, that was an okay match. What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on the match, Dion?
Like I just couldn't get Okada just raising the roof out of my head. I was like literally crying at him doing that, and like for real. But I was like, I'm happy for him. But it did what it's supposed to do. But I'm just still focused on Okada's collision course with Suzuki. Like that's what I'm really focused on Okada, because he's gotten over on this man so many times. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but I think Suzuki's going to beat him for the title. I really do. Like, I think it's time for that to happen, and he doesn't have to have a long reign, but I think Okada's going to drop the title very soon. As far as this match go, did what it needed to do. I was all right. Like I said, it had me laughing, so kudos, Okada, and you and your roof raising. Tip my hat.
At least I was happy he was having fun, because I usually see him with that same expression. It was good to see him having a bit of fun.
Okay, so kudos to Okada doubly, because not only did he raise the roof, he got Shibata out of trouble. So
yeah,
shout out to that man. Oh God.
Was it?
Oh yeah, right. The deflection for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
God.
You know what?
Was that those? Was that those text
Well,
messages?
You
It
heard
was
about
those
that,
text messages, and the reason why we're saying it got him out of trouble is not because he got him out of trouble with his wife, but because there's precedence for it as having an affair affecting your New Japan career because Taichi, who is in Suzuki Gun, was suspended for a few months after his big push in during Best of Super Juniors 2014 because he got caught having an affair. And it came out publicly. So that can reflect on you. At the same time, though, Tomoki Honma was publicly, in the media accused of domestic violence, and absolutely nothing happened.
I hate Homa, by the way. Can I?
Who
Yeah.
can tell where New Japan's going to go?
Can I also say, I know like it's different cultures and everything too, but I also respect that they're like, hey, we don't really like that you're doing this and you're looking bad on the company, so we're going to suspend your ass. If it was WWE, you would get a push. Edge, John Cena, any other wrestler that's in the main event. So I can respect that they kind of, have some kind of decorum about that. So I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll find out when I guess we'll see when Shibata takes on Ospreay on the 11th of February. I guess we'll see where this is going.
That's for the Red Pro title, correct?
Depends if he defeats. He's
not officially yet because Shibata's taking on Matt Riddle for he's defending against Matt Riddle tomorrow.
Bro.
So maybe not.
That'll be. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I'm not going, sadly, but I'm very looking forward to that. I reckon that'll be a really good match. Takahashi versus Titan was next, and
Titan.
Titan. See, right, Mexicans, when you're spelling these names, say them as you're pronouncing them. Titan is spelled T-I-T-N. Titan is spelled T-E-T-A-N.
Right. Titan has a Titan has there's a thing over the I, so it's pronounced Titan.
Okay.
Yeah, it has
Okay,
a little.
so this is a language.
Yeah, it has like a little thing over the A. Yeah, he's right.
See, look, this is a language show. This is an educational show as well as a language show, as well as an 18+ show, as well as talking about Shibata's Affair show and Honma's Everything show. But I did enjoy this match. Takahashi got the win with a time bomb. I really did like this, and I love the psychology of Takahashi working the leg, and I think Titan sold really, really well. There was a spot where Takahashi went to Irish whip him, and he couldn't make it all the way across the ring, so he was selling the leg. So thumbs up for the psychology, because with Lucha Libre, the stereotypical person will think, spot, but it's actually not, and I love the psychology of this match. So, Dion, you caught this match. What were your thoughts on the Takahashi Titan match?
Oh, well, I'm a fucking fan of Takahashi. He's a monster, so anything he does in the ring, I'm a fan of. And with this match, too, as I was watching it and I was enjoying this match, one glaring thing struck out about me with what's going on now, the CMLL. I mean, I saw him earlier in the show, but who was really quiet on the show, we didn't even talk about him on this show right here. Kushida, dude. Like, I was like, he was proclaimed to be the ace of the junior division. Call me wrong here, but I think Takahashi might be that now because he's just as good in the ring as Kushida is, and he's more charismatic, and I don't know. I think his ace position might be in trouble in that division because from what I've seen from Takahashi, it's just like, man, this dude fucking has it. So, I don't know.
He has a good case and all that, but he's also only had 2 singles matches since returning, including today. So, I think it maybe is a little early. Of course, I also think that Hiromu Takahashi could be a future ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, it's still baby steps. I think the fact that in his very first singles match, which is never Japan to your first singles match in the company, you win a title. But I think there's quite a precedent for that. But it's Hiromu Takahashi is that guy. I think I really do.
Yeah, there is something special about him, and he's coming to Rev Pro as well. He's coming in March for Epic Encounters at the York Hall again, and
yes, I saw that.
I'm tempted to go to that one. I'm generally, as long as tickets don't get sold too quickly, I'm very tempted to go to that one because
Like, I love that he's in Los, but he doesn't even need to be in Los. He can be a big star on his own. I'm glad he's there, but if you think about it, to me, he doesn't. He's there, but to me, he's not though. Like to me, Bushi necessarily needed to be in Los. Takahashi Time Bomb didn't need to be in Los. It was kind of like definitely an addition to them. So like it definitely was in the hands of that group.
I'm just going to point out that Kami Itachi was not a part of Los Ingobernables in Mexico. So just saying.
There you go.
And then we go on to the match we've all watched, the CMLL World Lightweight title match between Dragon Lee defending against. Do you want to just say it? There we go. There was no point in me butchering the poor sod's name. I really loved the Dragon Lee with the actual dragon on his head during the entrance. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And if you saw Calvarnario's, his magic marker tattoos. I mean, last year we got the comedy, King of Caveman style, and then like the Stone Rainmaker on the last day. This year it looked like somebody did a very intricate magic marker tattoo on him, but it just wasn't the same. And this is what we were talking about with missing Shinsuke Nakamura, because Nakamura was the guy responsible for all the body painting on all the wrestlers. Like he did Cavernario, he did Volador. I think he even probably did the first time Prince Devitt did that body paint. Big game is gimmick in NXT.
What, Jeff, if I can just cut in real quick, what's funny you say about the body paint is Tanahashi normally has like face paint on in the Fantastamanias. He didn't have that on today. I didn't know.
He did. Yeah, he had it half.
I've seen pictures. He had half of his face painted, which he usually does. Yeah, so it was there.
Okay, all right. I guess I just didn't see it. I guess I was fading out.
But you're right. Tanahashi does usually have half his face painted for these shows too.
I'll take 50% being right.
Yeah. This was a really good match. A few spots that stood out for me was the awesome wheelbarrow German from the cave. I'll just call him Caveman because I don't want to butcher the poor man's name. He also did the Caveman did a buckle bomb without the protective cover on, which was brutal. And then Lee hit a vicious bicycle knee and a bridge belly to back suplex to get the win. And one thing I loved was, I can't remember which guy was, there was a masked dude ringside. And he popped his shoulder, the Caveman popped his shoulder. So the guy in the apron was just trying to pull with his towel. He was pulling and pulling, trying to place the shoulder back into place. I thought that was really good. Yeah,
Calvarnario messed his shoulder up. I think it was on that poison Frankensteiner that he did to Dragon Lee at one point. And the cards might be changing for the next 2 days. Because I mean, it seemed like that they kind of ended that match rather suddenly after that. So
yeah,
it was interesting. That he does, man, just from the top rope to the floor, man. I don't know what he calls that, but I just call that reckless abandon because he just gives no fucks when he throws that splash, man.
Calvarnario?
Yeah, that splash is, I love it. I love that splash.
And
or what they call it. We know what it has high fly flow to the floor, but which it's beautiful. That sort of thing.
So there you are.
But yeah.
Oh, go on. You're going to say something?
I'm good.
Okay, so there we are. So that's that show review. We'll get to your live comments after. Jeff, but are you staying for live comments or have you got to skedaddle?
I can stay for a couple of more minutes.
Okay, cool. So we'll get you some live. Before you do, though, do you want to plug some of your stuff as the official review's over? And some people stay for live comments and some don't. So do you want to promote yourself?
I am Jeffrey Wessel. I do the Strong Style Story blog and podcast, which is at strongstylestory.tumblr.com or strongstylestory.podomatic.com. And you can also search for it, Strong Style Story podcast on iTunes. I also do an occasional show called Strong Style History, which is hosted by Place to Be Nation and the Pro Wrestling Only Boards podcast feed. You can find that at soundcloud.com/Pro Wrestling Only. And I also have a Twitter account at Strong Style Story without the E in style.
What went through your mind when you did the Strong Style Story Twitter handle without having the E in? Was it just it wasn't eligible?
it was just too many characters. So I came up against character limits, so I had to lose something, and that was the more logical one.
Oh well, it could have been a lot worse. At least no one took that name, so it could have been a lot worse. I will get some live comments now.
True.
Let's see, we've got any, and we have loads. Right, so what have we got here? Randall Headlock says Jado is the Marty Jannetty to Gado's Michaels.
Hey,
the thing with that was that Marty Jannetty was actually the better wrestler.
That's what I was about to say. It's funny if people say that too. That Marty Jannetty was actually a really good wrestler, and he just I know one thing: he beat up Shawn Michaels in a shoot fight. So that's all I know.
Yeah, he did.
The Monday Night Wars is not the actual show on the network. I'm watching the WCW and WWE compete against each other from '98. I'm at now, and I'm in January, and that's when Jannetty went to.
Everything went quiet.
I think we've lost the host here.
Okay, you there, buddy?
Technical difficulty.
You there, buddy?
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, Bunches.
Super kick for Trump.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. All right.
This party political broadcast brought to you by.
I'm back, just about. I think I'm back.
Okay, yeah, you sound like a Dalek there for a minute.
You left
brother.
off on Marty Jannetty.
Marty, weren't we? As I was saying, I was talking about the I'm doing shows on the Monday Night Wars, and we're at January of '98, and Jannetty just signed with WCW again, and he had matches January 12th against Black Cat, and January the 19th against Chris Benoit, and both were absolutely brilliant. They got given about 5 minutes, and they had a really, really, really good match. So people saying Jannetty sucks, he's the less of the worker. I really don't think so. From those matches alone, and obviously stuff with the Rockers, it takes two to tango. The Rockers wouldn't have been as over as they were if Jannetty stunk. And one guy can carry the team, but not.
But it's not that he sucks, that he didn't play politics like Sean did. That's all it was about.
And it's a shame. And we were.
I don't think people in Congress play politics like Shawn Michaels did.
I wouldn't recommend people to play politics like Shawn Michaels did either.
No.
Bradley Cassidy says these two new co-hosts are sticking. By the way, they're good. Just never seen them before. SOS Wrestletalk's been on before, but yeah, I always have different people for different things. I always have Samuel Booms for WWE shows, and then I always have SOS Wrestletalk on for my Japan shows, and I usually do like my indie stuff alone, but I just need to I like having a group of people for different things. I like having my WWE guys, my TNA guys, like Booms did TNA last night. And then I like having SOS Wrestletalk, and hopefully now Jeffrey could come on a lot more for our New Japan and CMLL stuff, as long as he's okay with that. Obviously, I don't want to put words in his mouth.
I'll try to come by as much as I can. So
yeah, I'll just pop in.
One of us.
Andy Paps Baby says it was a great show. He gives it a win. Rick 1982 says it was a win from me. Really enjoyed the last two matches. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. Heavy J says the reason most WWE fanboys like to criticize is because they can't stand something cool or good happening outside of WWE.
No, I don't think that's the case, because I've seen a lot of pro wrestling purists got on that show too. So it's not just the WWE fanboys. There's a lot of blame to spread around.
The thing is, though, why can't everyone just get along? Like, one thing that drives me insane is people who, you know, it's like in sports. If you're, for instance, say English soccer, you know, say I'm not actually, but say I'm a Manchester United fan. Yeah, I don't watch any other football. That's the only soccer game I watch is the Manchester United game. That would make me a Manchester United fan. I'm not a fan of soccer. I'm just a fan of Manchester United. That's what I'll watch, that exclusively. Or you can be the type of a football and soccer fan who watches every single game or most games each weekend. That makes him a football fan. A wrestling is no different. If you just watch WWE, that makes you a WWE fan. Embrace that and be proud of that. If you watch WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL, etc., that makes you a wrestling fan because you're watching wrestling, not just one company. And I think when I'm on Twitter and I see people's Twitter feeds that say wrestling fan, and I'm scrolling through, I'm like, no, you're really not. And it's just one thing that annoys people. We don't really try.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
like,
you know,
it was last year. My bad, Jeffrey. I'm sorry. I got it because it was freshman. I think it was a G1 show, not 2016. It was a 2015 show. Buddy, you know, I'm up, you know, sometimes checking Twitter, you know, in between, you know, intermission, people's entrances or whatever. And, you know, it's a guy, I'm not going to say his Twitter handle, but, you know, strictly WWE fan or whatever. And he was up like at 4 a.m. He's like, oh, man, I can't wait till Raw tonight. I strictly tweeted at him. I'm like, bro, you know, this G1 is going on right now. He was like, okay. I was like, I'm like, all right, that's cool. But, you know, I mean, I see you're just clearly a wrestling fan. I mean, a WWE fan and not a wrestling fan. So, I mean, I'm not trying to push it on you or anything like that. But I'm just like, hey, this is great. Check it out.
And there's nothing.
You don't like
And sorry, there's nothing wrong with being a WWE fan. If you're a WWE fan, you're a WWE fan. I know loads of just WWE fans who I'm friends with, and they embrace it. They're like, no, I don't have time, or, you know, I'm just not interested in that. I just watch WWE because it's on and it's a habit, and that's it. Cool, you know, but it's just frustrating. But that's a whole different show. It really is. But we try not to talk about fans as much as we really do on this show for some reason. Rick 1982 or 1890 and 1982, yeah, I got it right. I'm waiting for Okada to wear the King attire from Tekken 7. That was being hyped up during the Wrestle Festival on January 3rd. He's supposed to wear it during the Fantasticamania shows, I believe.
Well, he's got 2 more days to do it, so
he better. Hey, he better come.
Hopefully, he brings out on the last day. That'd be amazing on the last show.
Well, don't forget too. Well, there were 4 other shows prior to today's, and I think the first one is now posted because it was broadcast yesterday morning our time on Samurai TV. So it wasn't on New Japan World; it was on Samurai TV, the satellite channel in Japan. So I think that's now made the Real Hero Google Drive. So very first Fantasticamania show of this year is out there.
Right.
So.
How about this Real Hero Drive? Okay, I sent it to you, SOS.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Are we not allowed to talk about this on Twitter? Are we not allowed to talk about it on these shows? Because I've been asking people. I did a Pro Wrestling Noah First Navigation Tour show review last weekend, and I said, look, I watched it via the Drive, but I didn't say the Drive. I said, if you want to watch it, hit me up on Twitter and I can send you the link. Are we does he say, is there any rules please don't promote it? Can you just be quiet about this, guys? I don't want to get copyrighted.
No,
What's the rules?
There's a Twitter account for Real Hero updates. So they advertise when stuff's up on the Drive. So
Can they get copyrighted with it?
They could. And I mean, it's a risk that they run, and they're obviously willing to take. But I mean, they do have a few established rules, like they don't put up any content that's on New Japan World, for example. And they don't have anything from Stardom because Stardom has their own streaming, and they're about to lose a bunch of their material because DDT is going to go online this coming week with their own streaming network. So all the DDT material, including the sub promotions that DDT has, they're all going to be going down too. So, I mean, they could get popped for copyright, but they do have scruples. So
it's kind of like in a way, like when Togi Makabe comes out and they play a different theme, and he's really coming out to immigrant song. That's really pretty much what it's like. They're just playing different themes.
When you're watching New Japan World and you hear the music go silent, or it's like this really weird canned music, it's because they don't have the rights to their real entrance music. And as Dion pointed out, I mean, Togi Makabe, he comes out to Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. Well, there's no way in hell that they can get away with that broadcast over the worldwide internet, so they have to dub in some other, schmuck track,
It's just some heavy metal junk, isn't it, that they play over the poor boys songs.
They did that for a couple Ring of Honor guys for a while too. At first, when they would come over, then I guess they eventually got the rights to their music. But like they did it for Red Dragon.
Well, they used to do it with Jushin Liger's too. The Jushin Liger's music is the old anime theme from like 1988. I guess at one point they forgot to blank it out, and then they just said, screw it.
Yeah.
But no, I do recommend everyone, if you're watching, to check out these shows. And the Real Hero Drive, what I'm hoping with that is, because they're not doing the DDT, they're not doing that, I'm hoping they update more Pro Wrestling Noah, and I hope they update more Dragon Gate, because there's, in 2017, in 2016, I got into a lot of different promotions, got into indies a lot more, UK indies, Progress, and stuff like that. 2017, I wanted to do the world, so I wanted to do not just the indies, not just mainstream WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor. I wanted to do the New Japan and Japanese indies as well. Like I did Noah last weekend. I hope they upload more Dragon Gates, because I want to check out a Dragon Gate show. I've seen one about 4 months ago, but it was part of a tournament they were doing, so it's kind of in the middle. But if Dragon Gate, do a proper show, I really would like.
Dragon Gate just started their tour this week, or the last middle of last week. So it's their first tour of the year. So I mean, more material will be coming.
That's good, because I recommend everyone to get that. And they go, what's their Twitter? The Real Hero Twitter. What's it called?
Real Hero Updates.
There you are. So if you want to see the Noah show that I talked about last weekend, go there and you'll be able to find it. Let's see if we have any more live comments. So we got Rick 1982 says Christico needs to be at Fantasticamania next year, as well the returns of Sho Tanaka and Komatsu. No.
Sure.
Hey,
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Christico. I saw him in the Lucha Elite, and he's mega over, and he's incredible. Have you guys checked out any of that Lucha Elite, the Lucha Azteca? I think it's really fucking good. It's a lot more fast paced than CMLL for sure. It's
Lucha Elite's an interesting story that I really have no time to get into, but I have seen some of it. Of course, Michael Elgin won their Internacional tournament, so he won. He was that was that second belt he was carrying around for a while when he was Intercontinental champion.
Was that the one that Naito kicked out of the ring along with the IC belt? Like get out of here.
And then right, and then Elite and CMLL severed ties. I think, I don't know. It's a confusing story. But they severed ties, so then Elgin had to not wear that belt anymore. So
damn.
I think Caristico's their champ now, because on the last show he won the belt, and I haven't seen. I saw the last month or 2 months because I covered them, and I didn't see Elgin on any of them. I saw Lashley, saw Bobby Lashley. He was okay, but Caristico was the champ heading out, and La Parka. I tell you what, that guy is a crazy son of a bitch for the man that age. Blading left, right. Every match I saw, he was blading. Every single match, every one of them. The guy's a nutcase. Chauncey Bullock says Adam Cole, baby, Bullet Club for life. And then he says he says hashtag
sure.
beat
Sure.
beat up Booms for not coming to the show today. Booms works Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's why he doesn't make these shows. He's only eligible Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's why Booms is here. But with that being said, Jeff, how was your first experience on the Kocosports.net YouTube channel?
I'm still not used to doing video. I'm more used to just doing audio. So it was an interesting experience for this old man.
We'll take that. Will you be back for tomorrow and Sunday?
Probably not, to be honest. I do tend to try to value some of my weekend time. So, I mean, hit me up if I'm available. I'll jump in. If not, then we'll do this again. Probably maybe around New Beginning time. Yeah,
definitely, of course. Dion, you be around for both nights?
I don't foresee me doing anything. So hey, I'm looking at my Palm Pilot right now, and I don't see shit. So let's go.
That's what we like to see. That's what we like to hear. So yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow and Sunday about 12 12, 14 hours after the show airs because I have work on Saturday. That's when I can do it. And then Monday we'll be back with the Raw. Tuesday the SmackDown, and that's depressing, isn't it? You go from Fantasticamania to Monday Night Raw. That's
not so Fantasticamania. Not so fantastic.
That's not fair. There must be a law about that. Like, it's not legal in any way, shape, or form. That's just cruel. Oh, the duties. I call them duties. Anyway, make sure you... do you want to plug yourself one more time? Go plug yourself one more time, Jeff, and then Dion, you plug yourself after.
I run the Strong Style Story blog at strongstylestory.tumblr.com. We also have a podcast at strongstylestory.podomatic.com and on iTunes at Strong Style Story Podcast. I also do Strong Style History for Place to Be Nation and Pro Wrestling Only. And I am on Twitter at Strong Style Story without the E in style.
Dion?
Oh, well, you already know.
Your turn.
Yeah, you know where to find me at that SOS Wrestletalk on Twitter. You can find me at my personal account, The Dion Wells, if you want to follow my little random, this shitless layabouts, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, you can find me there, SOS Wrestletalk. We're on SoundCloud. Yeah, I mean, just tweet at us. If you see something you like, holler at us. If you don't, still holler at us. We don't care, you know. We just taking it day by day, man, you know.
You've really sold. You're nearly as good as Don West at the way you just sold stuff. Yeah, follow us on SOS Wrestle Talk, and you know you can catch me on my personal. You can. You know, you need to be Don West.
Okay, it's tranquilo, my friend. If they want to check you out, they'll check you out. It's tranquilo, brother.
That's a good way of looking at it. Of course, you can like, comment, subscribe to keep up to date on this YouTube channel. Also, Kocosports.net. I've been working hard at actually properly relaunching that with Jerry. So we've officially properly relaunched Kocosports.net. So head over there to the latest and pro wrestling news. Keep up to date on all the great podcasts we do on this channel. We'll be continuing giving you coverage of CMLL's Fantasticamania throughout the rest of the weekend, and then join you back on Monday for your shitty Monday Night Raw review, which I'll be joined with Sammy. So Sammy's making his return to the show for about a couple of weeks due to work. So he's looking forward to coming back on Monday, and then Boom's with me on Tuesday for SmackDown, and then Wednesday is the usual NXT, Thursday usual Impact. You guys know how it goes heading into the Royal Rumble weekend. I'm sure there'll be lots of Royal Rumble previews and predictions around, and we'll do one also. So lots to look forward to. Tomorrow will be exciting for another Fantasticamania. Until next time, thanks for coming on, Jeff. Thanks as always, Dion, for coming on for your New Japan supply.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Hey guys, Kenny Omega's in the Royal Rumble this year.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And on that note.
So with that being said, make sure you stay safe. Make sure you all stay well, because it's a trashy, disgraceful world out there, and I'll be catching your asses down the line.